evening. This is Highway One Revisited, as in Fender Highway One Stratocaster. This is my 2007 Highway One Strat. I bought this in September. I loved it then. I've been playing it all over this channel. I'm going to stick some clips in this video, but I've been playing it all the time. So if you ever watch this channel, and almost all the later guitar videos I've been doing, I play this one. And I love it. But I did do a review of it when I first got it. But I've been playing it a ton, and I've decided I like it a lot more than I did in that review originally. So this is an update on the guitar. We'll see how it's doing. We'll see if that Nitro finish is aging at all. I don't think it is much. But I love this guitar, and I love it more than when I bought it. So I'm going to share some of my updated thoughts on the Fender Highway One. I bought this guitar in September of 2020. The serial number is Z7. I think that means Z stands for 2007. So it's a 2007 Strat. They had two iterations of the Highway One. The first one was, 2002 to 6 or something like that, and that was an acrylic lacquer, and it didn't have that big Robin Trower, Jimi Hendrix CBS-era headstock, which I love. I know that's controversial. I love it. But then in 2006, I think they updated the Highway One to a Nitro finish and this big headstock. I love this guitar. I think it's one of the guitars I've owned that really I could see being a collector's item. Not because it was so fancy, some custom shop deal, but just because it's, every once in a while a guitar company will release a line of guitars that might not be around that long. It was part of a regular run, but there was just something about it that was really nice. It had that kind of mojo, as people always say. That to me is the Highway One. I think you know what? I think I have other guitars that maybe have just as nice specs and play great and all that. But I think this is the guitar I own that I could see being a collector's item. I paid $750 for this guitar. I bought it I walked into Guitar Center, and my man in the Guitar Center, he said, "We've got a Highway One." I think I was in there to buy some picks and strings. You know how that goes. And I looked at it, and you know what caught me is that Nitro finish. That Nitro finish, it just has that kind of woody look to it, that kind of furniture look that, when you see it up close, it's so nice. And I have a lot of great guitars that are polyurethane, but I saw that Nitro. It was $750, and I just bought it on a lark, and I played it. Now when I got it, I don't think it had ever been played much. See, it still has stickers on it. And one of the issues was I've had several people offer to take off those stickers. And the guitar tech said he would, but he also said it's risky. You might have a discoloration. I said, if we're going to get discoloration one way or the other, let's let God and Mother Nature take care of it, and we'll just leave them on there. So if they're on there for another 20 years, fine. If they kind of wear off, I guess that'll add to the charm. But let's not pull them off. It's still got the plastic cover on the pick guard. but it's really nice. I've dinged it a little bit. I hate that. You can see there's a ding in it. So right there. And every once in a while, I think I imagine that it's getting lighter than when I bought it, but I've only had it since September. I do see some updates on Fender Highway Ones. I watch almost every Fender Highway One video I see. Chris Buck's got some great ones, but there's some other just guys that talk about their Highway Ones. And a couple of them have aged somewhat. They get that kind of orange peel checking, but mine doesn't seem to be doing that yet. But I play it a lot, and I'm waiting for the day that this kind of starts to age a little bit in this area. That would seem to be the logical place. I don't baby my guitars, but I guess I'd like to think I don't knock them around. I've seen guys on YouTube. I've seen Highway Ones for sale. They say like aged to perfection, and I'm pretty sure that people purposely, I guess it would be homemade relicking, that purposely look like they kind of scuffed. You can kind of tell someone did it with sandpaper or some. And I thought, why would you do that to a beautiful guitar? Relicking is kind of cool looking, but let Mother Nature do it. Why would you buy a beautiful guitar with this finish? The finish is one of the nicest things about this guitar. Let nature do it the right way. But I love this guitar. When I bought it, right up here, it had a horrible setup. I don't think it had ever been played, and it's the kind of guitar you think, why did they even send it out? The setup was really bad. I mean, really bad. So I bought it with that bad setup, and I paid for the guy to set it up. It had it had really bad string buzzes on it. This one, and then this one still. Once in a while, I'll think it's going to buzz out, but the guitar tech, who I really respect, said that's good. That's as perfect as you're going to get, and I haven't really had any problems. It plays great up and down the neck. It's got jumbo frets. The jumbo frets I like. I think they give it a big fat sound. They're a little. You got to play them really carefully. So I think sometimes if I want to play like a really clean, sweet, stratty sound, I'll get out my white American Professional. Which has medium jumbo frets, and I don't know that one. But this to me is a blues rock machine. This to me is like for Robin Trower, Stevie Ray Vaughan, any kind of heavy Texas blues, anything like that. This is not a this is a rock and roll beast, is what it really is. And it's just kind of bare bones, they say. Another thing, the guitar tech at Guitar Center told me these tuners are excellent. They're the same tuners you'd get on any American Fender that are like an American Professional. They're not locking tuners, and they're not, thank God they're not those vintage slotted tuners, but they're good tuners. I'm not sure about the bridge, to get too technical. A couple other things. This has a HSS. Now, I remember being kind of disappointed. I wanted 3 single coils, and I think the reason I like the idea of 3 single coils is just because it seemed more like a Strat to me, and I thought, well, that's kind of a HSS. That's not as authentic a Strat, but I've decided I like having the humbucker. The other thing that I kind of have always wished is I wished it had a maple neck. So that would be the only two things I would change about this. Is I wish it had a maple neck and 3 single coil pickups, and then it would. And you know what? It's the Eric Clapton Brownie guitar. If you do that, you know. So. But I love this guitar, and you know, I'm just reminded when I see it. I even watch some of my videos. I don't know if the playing's any good or whatever, but I'll watch these videos and I'll think, you know, that's the guitar I've had that really is kind of becoming my guitar in that kind of way when you really bond with the guitar. And I think it's the guitar I bought that's the most collectible. I think, you know, this was $750. I bought it in September, and it was right after the stores reopened. You know, they still didn't have much in their store. They never have come back all the way, I would say. But I notice now, even just a couple months later, the prices on these things have jumped. And a lot of times I'll say I have a Highway One, and people go, "Oh man, where'd you get that?" And I'll see them on eBay. A lot of times they seem like they're going for around $1,200-1,300. Now it's hard to tell with those prices, and a lot of them that people get are modded. I would not mod this guitar. I like stock anyway, and to me, when you get to me, this is a collector's item. And you know, I've even thought once in a while, in a weak moment, of like buying a custom shop guitar, because I love that nitro finish and I love the 2-color burst. That's my kind of thing. And I thought about maybe getting a custom shop guitar. The other one I've kind of toyed with is that Eric Johnson. I'm not too much on signature models, but everybody says that Eric Johnson Virginia 2-color sunburst is a thin nitro finish and just a great guitar. But I don't think I want to replace this. Like I said, I wouldn't mind if it were 3 single coils, and I wouldn't mind if it had a maple neck, but I don't think I want to replace this guitar. And I have this weird feeling that as years go by, all these custom shop guitars, which I'm sure are excellent, but I think as years go by, it's the Highway One that's going to be the collector's piece, because that's the way I'm old enough to think about things I grew up with that were kind of everyday items that you could just buy in a store, and today they're worth all this money. I don't buy guitars to invest or as collector pieces or something, but I do remember like baseball cards. When I was a kid, I had baseball cards, and I always, and like every other kid my age, that my mom sold my baseball cards in a box, a shoe box after I left home, you know, and I always fantasized that they were worth thousands of dollars. But you know, the baseball cards that are worth a lot of money today, and particularly in the 90s, I think, are the baseball cards that everybody took for granted, that kids got in bubble gum. Then they started making all these fancy collector's editions and releasing them to a collector's market. And those baseball cards that were pitched to collectors, you know, kind of fancy sets and fancy, those aren't worth half as much as some old Alkaline card that some kid got in a pack of Topps bubble gum in 1969. You know, those are the cards that are worth a lot of money. And I sometimes feel that about these guitars. I think this Highway One is one of those guitars Fender released. It was just a production guitar, but over time, I think this is going to be one of the really special guitars they've made. It's a great guitar. Great guitar. It's well made. You know, I remember thinking, well, maybe it's a kind of low-end American guitar. Maybe I'd really actually be better off with the American Professional, or, you know, one of the ones that costs a little more. But as I've looked into it and as I've played this thing, I've decided, no, it's this is just a really well-made guitar. It's a proper Fender Strat, American Fender Strat. It plays great. I sometimes think my American Professional might tune a little better. This thing is great for those leads, you know, like just wanging up and down blue leads and power chords. To me, that's what this guitar is best at, and it's great at it. And I think it's a guitar that, as years go by, any of you that have a Fender Highway One, I personally think that's one of the, that's someday, maybe I won't be alive to see it, but someday those Highway Ones are going to be really sought after. They're just nice guitars, and they weren't around that long. They have that Nitro finish. You usually got to pay thousands of dollars for that Nitro finish. And it's just a great guitar.